In this demo, we're going to show how to use Verde to monitor for approaching threats. We'll use hurricanes and flood monitoring as examples, but earthquakes and wildfires can similarly be evaluated by the app. First, we're going to zoom to Mobile, Alabama to demonstrate that our demo hurricane will landfall in this area of interest. Next, we'll move over to the Monitor tab, which is where we can access data layers that will allow us to monitor for threats in our area of interest. To look at our demo observed hurricane winds, we're going to toggle on that layer and return to the map. We should now see that our area of interest is going to be exposed to hurricane force winds. By tapping on the polygon that overlays our area of interest, we can determine the wind speed category and the name of the hurricane that will hit our area. In a subsequent demo, we'll show how to determine the number of people and power grid customers that will be vulnerable to this hurricane's impact. This can help determine the required relief supplies for first responders. For now, we're going to move on to demonstrating how to use the tool to look for flooding in our area of interest. Returning to the Monitor tab, we'll toggle off the Observed Hurricane Winds demo layer and turn on our flood monitoring layer. Returning to the map again, we can see points that represent stream gauges. Each creek that's instrumented with at least one of these stream gauges can be individually interrogated. And by overlaying the stream gauges with the watersheds layer, also found in the Inventory tab, you can define a flooding zone. This concludes our demo showing the monitoring capabilities within Verde. In this demo, we're going to show how to use Verde to look at the population and critical assets that will be affected by the approaching threat in our area of interest. Opening the Inventory tab, we can see a list of data layers that represent critical assets, such as roads, cell towers, the electric grid, and natural gas transmission lines. Once a threat has been identified in our area of interest, we can sequentially overlay these layers to identify which assets are in harm's way. In addition to critical assets, the Inventory tab contains a population layer that will calculate and display the total population for the impacted area defined by the map's extent. Let's toggle on this layer in addition to the cell towers and return to the map. At first glance, we can see that at least 10 cell towers in a population around 600,000 are in harm's way. Having this information can be helpful for first responders that need to be prepared in an emergency situation. This concludes our demo showing the inventory capabilities within Verde. In this demo, we're going to show the prediction capabilities within Verde by looking at forecasted winds for our demo hurricane, and then by looking at both current and predicted power outages for our area of interest in Mobile County, Alabama. Opening the Predict tab, we can see a list of available data layers that can be used to predict the evolution of our approaching threat. By toggling on the Forecasted Hurricane Winds layer and returning to the map, we can visualize new areas of interest that might be impacted by this demo storm. Next, we're going to look at current and predicted outages for our area of interest. Let's return to the Predict tab, turn off the Forecasted Hurricane Winds layer, and turn on the Predicted Power Outages layer. Looking at both the predicted and current power outages requires layers from both the Predict and the Monitor tab. So let's move over to the Monitor tab and perform a search for power. After identifying and toggling on our current power outages layer, we can return to the map. Once the layers render, we can tap our area of interest. Upon tapping Mobile County, we can see a list of available layers to query. By selecting current outages, we can see the number of customers that are currently experiencing power outages in our county. Returning to the map and tapping on the same county, we can now select predicted power outages from our list of available layers. Doing this calculates the predicted power outages at the current wind speeds and displays the results. This concludes our demo of the prediction capabilities within Verde.